Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to take a closer look at the reason for why Zesshi Zetsumei believed that she could defeat Shalltear Bloodfallen, the strongest of all the floor guardians, despite failing to defeat Mare, who is more of an AoE specialist. But before we're going to take a closer look at all of this, let me quickly thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. And with that said, the reason for why Zesshi Zetsumei was so confident that she could beat the Blood Red Valkyrie is that she has received a credible report from none other than the other godkin and leader of the Black Scripture, who had actually fought her for a very brief moment. Now, the exchange itself was nothing great or spectacular. Shalltear was so focused on the threat to her front and the world-class item that soon would be used to mind control her, that she simply just pushed and shoved him away, rather than put up a serious effort to kill him. And based on this one single exchange, the first seed of the Black Scripture was initially very confident that he could contain, or at least busy Shalltear with himself, in order to get his other scripture members enough time to finish the mind control. And another reason for why the young godkin assumed that Shalltear was weaker than she actually is that Shalltear currently suffered a hefty penalty known as Blood Frenzy, where Shalltear lost more and more of her higher reasoning skills, since she came into contact with a lot of blood. This was one of the trade-offs that Pero Ronchino had chosen in order to make Shalltear even more powerful. And since she was without her armor, and suffered, or in this case also enjoyed, being in her blood frenzy status, she had received some penalties, making her way weaker than normally. Furthermore, Shalltear was without her armor, giving her a far more frail and breakable impression. And based off these factors, the captain of the Black Scripture also assumed that Zesshi could defeat Shalltear Bloodfallen. For while he did not know Shalltear's full potential, and the fact that he was familiar with Zesshi added yet more reason for why he could reasonably assume that Shalltear might have at least trouble with the fight against Zesshi. Because just like Einzulgon, Zesshi Zetsumei can also use the goal of all life is death, and therefore, when using Charon's guidance, the epic scythe Zesshi usually wields, she could use this skill to actually kill Shalltear. And while we don't know for sure that the other godkin knows about it, since Zesshi is being called certain death for a reason, it is also reasonable to assume that Zeshi's trump card is at least known to the inner circle of the Black Scripture. And in addition to all of this, Zesshi was once deployed into the Elf Kingdom, clad head to toe in the armor of one of the 6 great gods. Shalltear was at best lightly armored when she was encountered by the captain of the Black Scripture. Hence why Zesshi would, at least when fighting her leech form, have an advantage when it comes to armor. Furthermore, Shalltear's lance was, while of the highest order of items, not solely focused on dealing damage alone. It also came with a powerful health restoration ability. So in the most literal meaning, it was a vampiric lance. So therefore Charon's guidance was likely more powerful in terms of raw damage output. And there was one more reason to assume that in a battle with the Blood Red Valkyrie, Zesshi would hold the advantage, because Zesshi is also able to call forth Einherjar, and therefore summon an almost exact copy of herself at nearly the same power as her. Meaning that in addition to Zeshi's armor, her stronger damage output, and her goal of all life is death, the captain of the Black Scripture had every reason to assume that Zesshi would also fight 2-on-1 in the battle against Shalltear. What both of course did not know is the fact that Shalltear was not only able to use Einherjar, but that her Einherjar version is a clone of a level 100 floor guardian, and not of a level 88 New World being, and perfect at that. And aside from her auto-aiming lances, Shalltear also has never displayed her 10th tier magic, or her ability to summon a Doom Lord, that Ainz only could prevent from appearing by casting Greater Rejection. So even while Zesshi could call forth ein Harrier, Shalltear could rely upon a stronger and better version of this very clone, while also being backed up by a Doomlord, who alone could probably match Zesshi and some familiars as well. Furthermore, Shalltear would, just like in a battle with Einzulgon, be actually able to tank the goal of all life is death, since she would still have her auto-reviving item, thus making it incredibly hard to finish her off by surprise. And finally, her lance would turn into a nightmare for Zesshi, since Shalltear would be able to sacrifice some familiars in order to heal and gain energy, or at least make up for the damage inflicted by Zeshi's ein Harrier, while Shalltear's own version of ein Harrier and her Doomlord would likely be able to take on Zesshi alone. So, in conclusion, Zesshi was convinced that she could defeat Shalltear based on incomplete intel and not on hard battle data, which also once again shows how important the intel gathering Einzulgon always conducts actually is. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Ada Daddy Ada, Bad Guy Yi, Bad Boito 316, Beezer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feral Shivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Lelouch wie Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Loverazor, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, Oh Hell No, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Patty Pantum, Personage, Primus 11, Rhinomere, Q&A Caracos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rock Ed Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, Xenukai, and Zonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and hope to see you all again soon on my next video.